That was one of the first things that you mentioned to me when we were trying to figure out what we were going to talk about today. And you said the pass rush and lack thereof. And I think that there's no better way than to describe it than that.
Yeah, well, I mean, watching the game, I couldn't help but see that Derek Carr had like 10 seconds to throw the ball every time he dropped back to pass.
Right.
I think they did that statistic in the second half about how Carr had like 20 attempts or something in the first half of the game with 2.5 seconds or more to pass
Uh-huh.
the ball, and that the Chiefs were instead the quick pass team, which was a complete 180 from how the teams have operated in the past few years. So it wasn't there. It didn't exist. We even saw C Dot to go after Chris Jones
Right.
on Twitter. And then Chris Jones kind of quit back. I think it was last night or today about the lack of pass rush and specifically him. I did see Chris Jones standing up weirdly on one play. I don't know what happened on that play. I just watching it, it just stood out to me. I'm like, is he
Mhm.
just standing there for what reason? I don't understand. It's hard really to understand when you're watching from the from your living room couch, but
Right.
they just didn't do anything. The Raiders offensive line seems to have their number. The Raiders offense in general has had the Chiefs defense's number this year. Luckily, the offense bailed them out in this game. Unlike last game, they had a rough second half. But Frank Clark and Chris Jones are paid a lot of money. The defense is built from the front to the back. The secondary is at cornerback, especially. The Chiefs are bottom 3 in the league in spending at cornerback, and on defensive line, they're I haven't looked up the exact numbers, but I would guess they're top 10 with Chris Jones and Frank Clark, and even Alex Okafor. So they have to win by getting pressure up front with those two guys, and those two guys have not had a great last 3 weeks ish. So we need to see more of them, especially going against the Bucks and the Saints here in the near future.
Yeah, those are two good teams that you don't want to struggle in the pass rush against.
Mm-hmm.
With Tom Brady and maybe no, I don't think Drew Brees will be the quarterback when it comes out timing wise. It'll be close. It'll be very close
It might be
if
his
he will
first game
be.
back.
It could be, and that could be bad for the Chiefs, and especially if they don't have this pass rusher. And that's one of the big points that I took away from this is there's too much investment in this defensive line for there not to be anything to show for it.
Yeah.
Money wise, with Chris Jones, Frank Clark, draft capital wise, there's a lot of good draft picks. You don't see Taco Charlton, who they did go out and get in this offseason. He's now on the injured reserve. Alex Okafor came back, didn't really have an impact this game. But what do you expect with a guy who's been on the injured reserve for a hamstring? It seems like the whole year. And it's just so frustrating to me, I think, is to not see a pass rush. And I think that we kind of had a short little conversation on Twitter about this when it comes to blitzing, too. We've seen when Derek Carr gets pressure, he melts. Like he doesn't do
Yeah.
well with pressure, but the Chiefs aren't very good at blitzing.
Yeah. I implore people, if they have NFL Game Pass, to just go through the defensive snaps and watch for Ben Neiman blitzing. He might be legitimately the worst blitzing linebacker I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Every single time he is stopped by the running back in his tracks, he hits him straight on. He doesn't try to avoid him at all. He's undersized for a linebacker, so it's never even a good idea, period. And I'm just going, I'm watching this, I'm going, Willie Gay has 40 pounds on this dude, is
Mm-hmm.
way faster and is way more explosive. Why the hell I'm getting actually just so frustrated in seeing Ben Neiman take
Right.
these snaps over Willie Gay. I don't care how far along Willie Gay is. I don't understand how he couldn't be far enough along to where he can't just go. Spags goes, hey, go out there, run at the quarterback and sack him. Is
Right.
that
Yeah.
does he really need time to figure that out? I don't
Yeah.
understand. So I'm tired of Ben Neiman seeing the field at all. He should be cut. He shouldn't even
Mm-hmm.
be. He's not a great special teamer either. So
No.
at least this year he hasn't been. I know in the past years he has been. So maybe that's why to pick. We're gonna talk about special teams later too. But I'm tired of it. I'm tired. He's
Yeah.
the weakest link on the team by far, and he sees so many snaps each week.
It's frustrating. I think Willie Gay only had 31 snaps. And it's hard to really do anything when you have 31 snaps, right? I think I saw on the PFF refocus, they're like, oh, he underwhelmed in the running defense with his 31 snaps. Okay, what do you expect from him when he's only getting 31 snaps, right? I mean, I don't know. I go back and forth with, okay, yeah, I get that Willie Gay isn't might not be all the way there because of the post off season and no training camp. That's not an excuse anymore. That's not an excuse. It's the same thing when it comes to Andy Reid saying that Juan Thornhill's a situational player and they're easing him back in week 11. You're easing him back in week 11. That doesn't make any sense. Get Dan
I,
Sorensen and Ben Neiman off the field.
I'm fine with Dan as the third safety. I understand they don't have like safeties behind him that are really much better than him,
Yeah,
and they can't invest in a third safety because that's kind of weird
right.
for a team like the Chiefs are built. But they have somebody who is better than Ben Neiman at his
Yeah,
role as a rookie already. I guarantee you he's better than Ben Neiman. And he's only playing base packages again. It's the
yeah,
same thing every week. If the team runs more offenses that the Chiefs have to mess with base, they will play Willie Gay more. Raiders are one of those teams that play more base, so that's why you saw actually a decent amount of snaps. But even 31 still too little.
right.
But I just don't understand why Ben Neiman is there at least for blitzing downs. Get Willie Gay in there.
Hmm.
He's 10 times more explosive. It the personnel decisions on defense. Spags has a good scheme for the most part, unless he's playing the Raiders apparently.
Right.
But I don't understand personnel decisions at all in the defense sometimes. It gets incredibly frustrating, honestly, if you can't tell.
Right. Yeah. We're a little perturbed. I hit the table. I don't usually hit the table, and I hit the table. So I Dan Sorensen is one of those guys. You made a tweet about this last night. All he does is close big games. That's literally all he does. He doesn't do anything else. Because
I I literally
oh
called earlier in the game. I'm like,
yeah.
Dan Sorensen made a terrible tackle attempt, I'm pretty sure. I'm like, this is the
Yeah.
type of play Chiefs fans forget when Dan Sorensen makes a big play in the game. What do you know? He makes a big play at the end of the game. I see some Chiefs fans go, wow, Dan is so great. He makes these big plays when it matters. I'm like, but he
Oh,
gives up so much more than he gives in these small missed tackles that he gives up 5 to 7 yards. He has like 2 to 3 or 4 even in a game, and you just forget about those because he made the interception at the end of the game. I'm just like, at least for him, there's positive plays though. That's the
yeah.
thing.
That's
And
true.
as a third safety, having positive plays to go along with the negative of his play is fine to me, which is why I'm fine with Dan Sorensen. I just give me a Ben Neiman shirt that says his face with the target through it. I don't know. I'm tired of it.
That sounds like a good merch idea. Maybe we'll have that up. Maybe we'll get that on
I
a
don't
merch
want to like
store.
hate on him. Like it's so like it's a lot. It's like this is we do not like Ben Neiman obviously on this. I don't want to hate on
No.
him too much. I just feel like the coaching staff has unneeded confidence in him,
Yeah.
unfounded confidence in him. They're putting him in a situation that I don't think at the NFL level he really excels at. He's a decent special teamer. He's a fine backup. He's not a starting will linebacker in the NFL. Period.
I'm sure Ben Neiman is a great guy. I'm sure
I'm
he's a
sure he is.
I'm sure he's a great husband, boyfriend, whatever he is. I'm sure he'll be a good dad. He's just not a good football player.